Well, how do you fare, my loyal 9 patriots? Okay, so this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I've seen this video, Ghost in the Machine, and ever since I watched it, I have thought about it endlessly. I've watched it numerous times and I've just continually taken notes on it and kind of really ruminated on what this video actually means. Now, there's a lot of people that say this leads to devolution, and I actually think there's validity to that. There is a lot of things alluding to devolution, which we will talk about here in a few seconds. But the thing that I really want to address that a lot of people haven't seemed to address yet is, number one, the big army, the military, is not capable of producing a commercial like this. If you look at every army commercial out there, you look at every Marine Corps, whatever commercial, it's always this thing about diversity, inclusion, equity. How many moms do you have that help raise you so you can man a Patriot missile system? That's what it's pertaining to. That's their market that they're pushing for. When I see a video like this, my spidey senses immediately tingle because it's too high quality for the normal military. But the other thing is, I make these kind of videos. I make these. I do these all the time. I'll link a couple in the description if you want to check them out. Sinister Infection is one that everyone seems to love a lot. But I make these kind of videos, and the thing that you have to remember is you do not waste a single second with these kind of videos. Every single thing in these has a purpose and has meaning to it. So whether you have text on the screen, the text is giving you the message, and then you have the video that's corroborating it, or it's giving you that visual that you need, because people are readers, they need visual, they have learned by touch. So you're trying to hit as many sensations as you possibly can. Audio, all these things are critical whenever you're making a influential piece of video. And within this video here, they hit everything on the head. Let us first understand the title. Everything about this video is deliberate. Nothing is accidental. And that's a great measure of effectiveness when you're evaluating a successful psychological operation. Now, starting with the title, Ghost in the Machine, there are a lot of references to this meaning, but what I believe the direct point they are leading to, with the title Ghost in the Machine, is to a guy named Gilbert Ryle, who was a philosopher who wrote Concept of Mind. Now, his idea was that the mind and the body are the same, except the mind is the ghost and the machine is the body. Conquer the ghost and the machine will follow. Moreover, there's a book titled The Ghost in the Machine, and to just read you a quote from Wikipedia about the book, it states, "The work," meaning the book, "attempts to explain humanity's self-destructive tendency in terms of individual and collective functioning, philosophy, and overarching cyclical political historical dynamics peaking in the nuclear weapons arena." Now, that's just the title, and we haven't even watched the video yet. And I'm not going to play the video. I'm sure everyone has seen the video. If you haven't, I'll link it in the description and you can check it out. But let's go ahead and start analyzing this bad boy. So this is the Sun Tzu quote. Obviously, this is a great quote and highlights the idea behind deception. But more importantly, as we've seen throughout this video, this is also a message to China and Russia, but mainly China. But if we swing around to devolution, we see this also being applied politically towards the levers of power within our government. Hence, America Firsters seem pretty powerless, but now, right before midterms, we are seeing court rulings en masse by the Supreme Court that are in favor of America Firsters. Now, choleric temper. This is one of the 4 classic forms of temperament. Choleric being ruling, obsessive, dominant temperament. Now, the last thing about this quote, this is also highlighted in Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal. Okay, we're seeing the clown. Remember the clown.
As the world watches and listens in horror, the peaceful pro-democracy demonstration in China comes to a violent and bloody end.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Right to China. Immediate message to China. Who's pulling the strings? This is right after a message to China. Then we see WHO. World Health Organization. I don't think that was an accident. This is looking more and more like something is tying into devolution.
Hiding nearby, whispering, do or die.
Now, when I read this quote, "born from the ashes," and then you hear wolves hiding nearby, To me, that's alluding to a phoenix. What has this country gone through? COVID, all the authoritarian nature from the left. Let's just say mystery elections, BLM riots, Antifa riots, mainstream media manipulation. Well, after the napalm level of burning this country has gone through both physically and mentally, what's rising from those ashes like a phoenix? New types of soldiers, citizen soldiers, digital soldiers, a new type of special operations, and of course, devolution. Now we see the patch. This is from the Ghost Army during World War II that used inflatable tanks and equipment to trick the Germans. And a little bit of a side note, General Patton was actually the commander of that Ghost Army. Now, the fire in the background is in reverse. Take what you want from that. When I see it, I think of reclaiming form or territory or something like that, something that used to be yours, which is, again, kind of correlates with the patch being from World War II. Or it could just simply be art. The other aspect of this is these are all pine trees, and psychological operations, all their training is done in North Carolina, which is covered in pine trees.
Around me,
Of a world at war. Okay, this is talking about COVID, because look at the train station and how empty it is.
you say your last good.
A threat rises in the east. They are straight calling China out. Hence why the big army would never allow a commercial like this to be made.
Night, while
Here we have phases of warfare. You have horseback riding swordsmen, force-on-force warfare with guys getting out of a Bradley, terrorism, music, because music can be weaponized, drones, the digital soldier, and of course, revolution, which is highlighted like crazy in this video, as it should be. Then we see the smartphone, one of the greatest weapons ever invented. What sparked the George Floyd riots? Edited cell phone footage. What starts most of these protests and riots? Cell phone footage.
There is another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the mind of the enemy.
The target of psychological warfare is against the enemy's mind.
It is words and ideas.
The ammunition used by Psywar.
It is words and ideas. Ammunition used by Psywar. Notice how they're taking the throwback to the old Psywar training tapes, cutting them and clipping the pieces. That's how long they have known about the power of psychological operations. Anything we touch. Now this looks like a microphone, and then you have a guy using a VST like Reaper, and he's making music. Because again, music is a weapon.
Its mission is to influence the thoughts of the enemy soldier, and at the same time
is expected and encouraged to study foreign languages and the social sciences such as history, economics.
Now we have a revolution scene. This is actually stock footage from a website that I use. But again though, revolution is highlighted very heavy in this video. The Germans during World War I used Lenin to start a revolution in Russia because they knew it would destabilize the country, because revolution is a powerful idea. Now I bring up this historical point because what is said from the old Psywar training tapes playing in the background, but also it's something I've been encouraging on this channel. If you want to make change, you have to understand history, economics, languages, and how the mind works.
Economics and sociology. He must have a broad and sympathetic understanding.
The clock, this is alluding obviously to time, but what is one of the most valuable things on the planet? Time. But I also think it's a message to the ruling class, to the people that are going to be on the end of devolution, that time is running out for them.
Understanding of all phases of human experience.
Inspire. This is a really important scene to me because again, this is an art piece here. This is a quality piece of art, but it's also an awesome message campaign that's being produced. This is an enlightening moment they're showing, looking up to the sky as if there's a higher authority, hence the cross in the background with the African kids. It's the moment of inspiration, that moment you begin to see things the way they actually are, a message in the stars.
Gripping at my skin, the walls of night closing.
We come in many forms. Well, the TV in the beginning was a clown that at the end morphs into a ghost. This is a message to the enemies of the United States that we see you, and now we are putting on the makeup to become the ghost in the machine.
But the use of this force as an integral part of combat has now taken on new form.
We are everywhere. You hear a crowd cheering. Again, entertainment is the weapon they are highlighting here. What is the economy of the internet? Attention. What comes with attention? Influence. With influence comes a shift in thought process. With a shift in thought process comes action and change. Hence revolution. The TV on fire is a symbol that the magic box in your living room is starting to lose influence on the American people and in the West. They absorbed it for so long and allowed the magic box to have so much influence and control on so much of their lives that because the enemies of the West pushed and pushed and pushed, that it's starting to lose its credibility, hence the mainstream media losing their credibility. Here we have lots of revolutions taking place, some in Ukraine in the 2014 revolution that they had, and then some of the footage is from the United States. Again, revolution is highlighted like crazy in this video because they know the power of revolution. Then it's showing psychological operations doing leaflet campaigns, which is something that they still do today. They did it in Iraq, Afghanistan, all over the place. And then we constantly see the reoccurring theme of the chessboard. Here we see the inflatable tanks that the Ghost Army used during World War II to defeat the Germans and trick them with psychological operations. Again, that was that operation that General Patton was in charge of. But then we also see the Tiananmen Square footage. Many Chinese people have never heard of Tiananmen Square, and if they have heard about it, they hear that it's a lie. So when a Chinese person comes to the United States and hears about it, they're going to argue with you and tell you that it never happened. Even when you show them the footage, many Chinese people will say that footage is fake.
These are the Psy-War soldiers.
Okay, to close it out, listen to what the old training footage is saying. Go back and listen to it whenever you want on the actual video. But what it's telling you is what makes a good psychological operations soldier. Yes, because it's a recruiting video, but it's sending a message to the populace. Also, their motto, verbum vincit, I think that's how you say it. That means the word will conquer. With that said, I know there's more to this video, but I wanted to make it short and sweet. I want to leave you guys with this. If the only thing you take away from this video, know this: anything can be a weapon. Music, art, information, anything. Prodeo et Patria. Loyal 9 out.